we are.
Hi. Welcome to Happy Hour with Ruth.
And Roxy. It's nice to see you guys.
It
Hope
is.
you're doing well.
It is. And so we're wearing our team colors
Yes,
today.
team colors.
Yes. And interestingly enough, because we got it at Old Navy, we each bought one of the other color too. So it's not like we,
Yes. What's the saying? Women who shop together?
That's right. Buy the same clothes.
Buy the same clothes.
At least me and you do.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we're reliving that. We're living that, when you're a little kid and you want to dress like your friend.
Yes. Yeah. We never did that the first time around, so now we're doing it.
Yeah.
What are we drinking today, Ruth?
Well, at the moment, we're drinking our Stoneboat bubbles, so which we've just found out they're getting more of, so I'm very happy because I've been stalking their site.
Oh, dear. Yes, I know. Crash.
Today, we're going to talk about how the world's a dumpster fire, and yet spring is coming, and we get to be happy about gardens, and how we're managing all of that. And also, just for the record, how I'm managing the fact that she looks glamorous, and I look like what the dog brought in.
We're not doing that.
Yeah,
we're not doing that.
But so look at, I looked, well, I was getting eyes today, so that's why I looked.
She was getting eyes. What she means to say is she had an eye appointment today where she had some tests done on her eyes. She already has eyes and continues to have eyes.
Yes, I do have eyes. I have eyes, Roxanne. But yes, anyway, the world's a poop show, and we all know this. But what's the way? How are we going to move forward and live life? Because you have to live life. And so how are we doing all of that? And it's it's so chaotic, and every day you wake up to some more chaos or some more tragedy or just as we're coming on, whether it's true or not, we're hearing that the Abbotsford Hospital is in lockdown. We don't know if it's true because it was social and we had to come see you guys. So it's what do you do with all this information coming at you, and how do you stay grounded and reasonably sane? Let's face it, and it's not a time for sanity right now.
Not really.
Right? This is not this. I admire the people who have the Zen thing that can just move away from it. I'm not there yet.
Even my most the most zen person that I follow ever, which is Adrienne of Yoga with Adrienne, she is such a grounded person. She is so zen, and she is so kind, and she is so careful in how she speaks all the time. And I'm getting a little, from her posts and her emails, I'm getting a little sense of exhaustion or fatigue or something from her, even though she's doing all the right things. It's hard.
It's really hard.
Although I will say, she is a strategy, using her and people like her to de-stress physically is a great thing to do.
And that's the important thing. And that's one of the things we're going to talk a bit, it's first of all, each one of us can solve something, but we can't solve everything. And you can't take it on like that, because that's not how it works. But today we're going to talk about, it's okay to feel that way. And the flip side to that is there are tools we can use, and we're going to talk about them, and hope you'll send us some too. But really, as I'm talking to a friend of ours who's going on a 6-week vacation in Australia, and her concern, instead of thinking about this once in a lifetime trip, is to be like, holy cow, will we get home? Because
that's
the oil
time.
prices, right? And the oil prices, who knows what will have. Maybe it might not even be about cost. It might be there is none.
Yeah.
Right? And she was saying that her sister, who pays attention, is really worried that because not only does oil go through the Strait of, and I'm going to I can never say it right, but so does all the fertilizer for gardens and for all the things, and for farms, right, and for all the things. So that's not a good thing, given that North America is in its spring planting season. Right. So her sister's worried that there's going to be a famine, but of course, in a famine, who's going to be hurt worse? The people in countries that are already struggling, right? They will be really hurt. We'll have to do without some stuff.
Yeah.
But we still have farmers markets and all the things, I think, the smaller things, if we turn to those. But what about the big stuff? What about the people that have to go to a grocery store because that's all they can afford?
Right.
Right? It's a scary thing. I mean, that's far enough off that I just hope that there are leaders in the world, like Mark Carney, I have to say, Prime Minister Carney, who are looking at, how do we, if this continues, if there is not a resolution, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Right?
How do we pivot?
But having said that, right, here's this beautiful trip, and her worry is...
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's an interesting thing. But, and our friend, who I don't want to... I didn't ask for permission, so I don't want to... But she's a pretty grounded... gentle, peaceful human, right? And if she's worried about it, then maybe I should be more worried.
Nope, you can't be more worried.
That's
I
fair.
don't think it's possible.
Nope, that's
but
fair.
you know, like, and we deal with this every time we record, you guys. Like, we're always wanting to stay positive. So we're gonna obviously talk about the chaos and the disruption and the difficulties, but we're gonna really try hard to focus on how can we deal healthfully.
Yes.
Well, how can we deal?
And I saw a meme out there, and it was a raccoon that was stranded between two trees.
Oh, yeah.
And one tree said today's news, and the other one said my mental health. Right, and the poor raccoon was like stretched both ways. And I think for me, I have to stay informed because I want to know what's going on.
You have to,
but also, like, I mean, it's just a part of who I am, not just work.
Yes.
But the other side is, you don't have to be over-informed.
That's the balance, right?
Yeah. Like Heather Cox Richardson, who's somebody, we'll put a link, who I think lots of people that follow us follow her. But she's really good because when she puts her stuff out, and it usually comes in for me like around 10 p.m. at night, so I'm already asleep. Except if I get up and I can't sleep, or I have to go to the bathroom, and it's there. But she puts her first comment is whether you should read it before bed or not. Oh. She'll say, this is okay to read tonight, or I'd save this till morning.
Oh my goodness, I haven't seen that. Yeah. I get her email.
Oh, you get the email, so it wouldn't be on there. But on social, she puts it on.
Really? Well, that is interesting. It is really
good.
thoughtful.
But for somebody like me, as soon as she says, don't read this tonight, I read it.
I have to read it now. Yeah.
Because it's like, now it's like, it's okay to read tonight. It's like, I'm not reading it. I'll read it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm a little contrary.
Yeah, a little figure. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think, like, so think about it. So, there's constant honest God, there's constant breaking news, no matter where you are, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, during the day, I have news channels on because work, and also because I'm a little addicted, but also, like, no matter where you're on social media, stuff comes up, right? And then there's doom scrolling because you can't help yourself, right? Because you see the headline and you want to know the truth,
and then you read one headline, and then the algorithms are such that they keep sending you those kinds of headlines, and before you know it, that's all you're looking at.
Yeah, but that's exactly,
and that's the plan.
And the fact is, you can't take it all in. Like, one of the things people are saying is decide what's your cause, because we care about all of it, but what are the things that you'll be able to do something about? Can you decide that you're going to be somebody who helps correct misinformation, because then that's your job, right? Don't let anybody say something and say, here's the source, that's not true. Or are you somebody who promotes the events that people protest and stuff like that? Are you somebody not online? And you're taking, like you were going to talk about Minnesota, and are you somebody who makes sure someone who can't go to the store is getting fed? Because that's a big thing, right? You don't have to do 15 other things. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I think that's what, like we were talking earlier about that, and if I don't like where this little piece is placed, I'll cut it out and I'll move it to where I think it should be.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
But like the Minneapolis and St. Paul.
So Minnesota's the state.
Minnesota's
Minneapolis, St. Paul are
Minneapolis
twin cities.
and St. Paul are the twin cities in Minnesota. Yeah. What did I say? Did I say it the other way around?
It's been a long day.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it in editing.
We'll fix it in post.
I can always make myself look smarter. You don't have no idea what I do to you in editing.
I'm a little worried.
I couldn't make you look smarter. You're so smart.
Yeah, that's not what you meant.
But one of the a post that I read recently was talking about the people of Minneapolis and St. Paul, and how what they were doing was so unexpected. It was obviously unexpected by Trump and ICE. But what's happened now, things have died down. They're not died away.
No, and they're still there.
They're still there.
ICE is still there. And that's what I'm seeing on Threads.
Yeah.
All these people that are like, I think they're suppressing my post because it's still ugly here.
It's still ugly there. It's still ugly there. But the people are doing what they can. But it's grown into something it's not just ICE anymore. Yeah. It's people that are doing things because now they see need where they didn't see need before. So it may be directly ICE related, it may be indirectly ICE related.
Right, but that's just it, right?
And so if you're going to, pick up some extra groceries for a friend because they're scared to leave the house, that's indirectly related to ICE, not directly exactly. You're not standing in front of them, using your body as a shield, but you're doing something. And then maybe ice moves on, but you know that person's still afraid.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening is there's no presence anymore, but people are still afraid, and people are still taking care of each other in a way they didn't before.
Well,
so they're
and I
not
think
seeing
that's-
those differences.
It's like they've just moved on to a different neighborhood, but these people, and it's like they're afraid because they're afraid they'll come back if they're
course.
not. But lots of them haven't left; they've just moved to a different location in the hood, and that's just it. So, but they've also realized. So some of these people, because stores have had to close down in shops, and so the owner of the store might be afraid, so they close it down, and then the employee has no work, right? So these people, not only can they not get out to get groceries, they don't have the money.
Yeah.
Right. And so all these people are stepping up, and like the owners of the coffee shop that are two trans people, right? Who has agreed actually to
he's
be
going to
interviewed
be a guest.
by us. Yes. Yeah. And have a thing where people can pay extra food and coffees.
Yes.
And so when someone who is homeless comes in, they can give these people, and he talks about it on Threads, and we'll do the link. We'll talk more once we've confirmed that he's able to come on. They started taking care, and then everybody came in and said, here, I'm going to leave you, here's an extra 20, here's an extra this. And so they're taking care of the people that normally wouldn't get to come in when it's cold out, or that kind of thing. Like they keep letting them in, so people are like, hey, we'll help you, you're doing a good thing. It doesn't have to cost just you. But I think we're in the stage of doing exactly that, right? And the people, I think you're exactly right, where the people of Minnesota, man, they stepped up and they showed, like were like, bring it on. Because you want to mess with us, and bless their souls. Like they gave a lesson to the world about what community means. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're still giving that lesson, and now other cities are having to do it. But they set the standard.
They did, right? And that's inspiring, and it should be inspiring for all of us. I think,
that's what we should take away. The crap is that they had to do it,
of course.
But the silver lining is they did it.
They showed us. Yeah. They showed us in a time where it looks like you can't find any good people anywhere. Where are the good people? Yeah. They showed us what good people are doing.
But that's exactly, and they did it without fanfare or looking for recognition. Like if it didn't come out that like the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, right, was talking about it, and other people are saying these are good humans here, right? And you saw the protests where people were out, and it was the first time they had protested.
Wow.
Right, and they were like, so this one fellow who was a veteran, and he said, I've never been to a protest before, but I'm mad as hell. He said, I was watching out my window, and there were 3 kids at a bus stop going to school, and a black vehicle went by, and they ran, and one kid yelled ice, and he said, I just saw like junior high school kids run from their government. Yeah. Right? Like that just gave me chills. And that's what he said. And he was like, so I went and I figured out where the protest was, and I came here right away because I can't take this. Yeah. Yeah. Right? So here's somebody stepping in. But I think that's just it. Like if we look at people pushing back, it's a shame it has to happen, but there's magic. Mm-hmm.
There is magic, right? Yeah. You see who people really are in all the good and all the bad. And we've seen the bad for sure, but we're also seeing the good now. Yeah. And
the thing is, the bad doesn't have the platform. No. Right? That he who shan't be named because algorithms, and we don't want to get buried. But you've seen that's a huge bully platform that he's got, right? Yeah. And so you don't always hear about the good things, about the people that buy coffee, or that somebody comes into that cafe that's in Toronto that we're hoping to talk to the fellow, and somebody comes in and there's a guy that came in, and he just posted about it on Threads, but a fellow came in and it was raining out and he didn't have any shoes, this poor fellow, but he had socks. Yeah. And so somebody in there was like, you need socks? I just bought some, and gave him socks, right? Like, what a beautiful thing, right? But they've created that space, which is kind of what we all need to do, is create that space, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But the other thing, like one of the things when we were doing the notes was humans weren't designed to process global catastrophe in real time every day. No. And that's where we are today.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the problem, brain science wise. And there's, lots of people smarter than this about me, than me about all this stuff.
Smarter than you about this?
Clearly.
It's been a long day.
But that's the thing, right? Like, we are not meant for that. We're not meant for much of what's happening right now. We haven't evolved fast enough to handle the change in technology that we've got. Right. And yet, here we are. We have to do it anyway. Right. Because
I have a dog beside me, so that brings joy.
Yes. Hey, my handsome dude. Handsome dude.
But that's just it. So you have to find other things. Like
Hi.
like we walk in the mornings in the forest, Paul and I.
Smell like
Well,
tuna.
that's funny. But we walk in the forest, right, in week mornings. And like being in that forest, it's like by the time it's like, oh, it's light enough to walk, I'm like putting my boots on. And before it was like, oh, it's cold out.
Totally.
Right? And now it's like, I want to go sit in the forest.
Yeah. That was always my favorite. For a while early on when we moved here to Creekside, there was there was a forest, we called it the forest loop.
Right.
And we could go in there and we could let our dogs off leash and they could run. And it led down to the creek and it was beautiful. And we got into a dispute with the neighboring property and there were some people who were letting dogs off that weren't safe to be off leash and
Right.
blah, blah. Anyways, we couldn't do it after a little while. But for initially when I was here,
Yeah.
I was like, that's my favorite thing. I want to go in there.
Yeah.
I want to feel the trees all around me. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there was a couple of deaths by cougar, they think, of
Oh,
some deer that happened in there
right.
too that spooked me a little.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go in there by myself.
Yeah,
with
I
my
can see that.
little dogs
Yeah.
anymore. So, initially I could pretend, there's no wildlife here but me and the birdies.
Yeah.
And then, you see a carcass and you're like, maybe I'll stick
But also,
to
at least if you hear the birds, you know the cougars aren't
Yes,
around.
that's right.
So there is
Yes,
that. But
yes.
that's like you go into the forest or wherever you are, like even if you're in a patio in the city, like it's like, could you do a little patch of grass where you could ground? Could you just put your feet in it,
Yeah.
right? And like just something to get you away from the technology and the 24/7 information that comes at you, because it doesn't matter if I don't care, maybe Pinterest, I don't know enough about it, I don't think there's much news on Pinterest, but it doesn't matter where you're scrolling, you're seeing bad things right
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
So you have to, and that's hard for me because like,
Or you're seeing such a volume of whatever it is, because
Yeah.
even on Pinterest there's ads,
Right.
So you're seeing
Right, that's
ads
true.
for things that you don't need to buy, and
Yeah.
solutions to problems that you don't have.
and solutions to
And-
problems that no one has that they've created.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
no, and that's just it. And also the scrolling of it is it's information in, right? There's not dialogue.
yeah. You're not processing it
Yeah.
properly
Yeah.
with a back and forth
Yeah.
with someone else, or having verification on a lot of it.
But that,
right?
and that's why when we saw this scroll about Abbotsford, right, the hospital, we were like, we have to check this,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and it is, and I think you have to fact check, but also turn it off. Like I am reading so much more now. So I read at lunch. I watch news all day because partly job and partly problem. But then at lunchtime, Paul and I sit and he watches a sitcom or golf or whatever, and I'll read.
Yeah.
And it's like it's such an incredible break.
Yeah, I'm starting to do that now too, and I have a tough time reading during the day. To me, that feels like something I should only do on vacation, unless it's nonfiction or something
Where you're learning
good for me,
stuff,
where I'm
yeah.
learning. Then it feels like, okay, this is productive, this is
Right.
allowed. I'm working on that because
Yeah.
I should
But
be
it's
able
a
to.
thing, right?
But you know what I'm reading right now during the day?
What?
I'm reading No Conscience by Dr. whatever, the guy who studied the psychopaths.
Yeah.
It's all about in the mind of the psychopath.
He was a UBC professor anyway, and
Yeah.
he did the psychopath or sociopath
checklist. Yes.
right? Which is really fascinating. Like,
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
It is not exactly lifting me out of the darkness, but in a way it is, because it's very scientific. It's very,
Yeah.
there's lots of examples. We all know,
Yeah.
Dahmer and
Yeah.
some of these other, Gain
Yeah.
and some of these other killers that are famous,
Yeah.
which they shouldn't be. But,
Yeah.
and so to read about them and the like the checklist is helpful, because if you're anything like the average person, you're like, oh, I know someone like that. Oh, wait a second, I do that sometimes. Am I a psychopath?
right? I know that book makes you makes you
Yes.
question everything.
It does,
right?
which is good, because he's also giving examples of how these people lured their victims and
Right.
the things that they did, and just things that you can say, tuck away and say, oh, just because he's got a cast on doesn't mean it's real.
Right.
It could
no,
be.
but that's just it, right? And
Yeah.
and so there was a fellow, and John Douglas, who he was one of the first profilers in the FBI criminal behavior unit, right?
Okay.
When it first started, and I ended up interviewing him for a magazine.
See how she just slides these things in? Like, my career, whatever. Oh, well, I interviewed, John Bon Jovi and then this famous guy, and yeah.
You're funny. But I talked to him, and at that time I had ideas about writing a book, and we ended up talking about how his work inspired a whole genre of serial killer books, right? Fiction.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And we were talking about that kind of thing
Yeah.
and stuff. But he also said to me, because I was talking to him, and I'm pretty sure it was about the book you're reading now,
Okay.
because it was a UBC person. And I said, so I went through this checklist, and when I interviewed him, I was a single person. I said, when I went through the book and had the checklist, I said, every time I go on a date now, I'm like, what about this and what about this? And then it's like, and then I looked and it's like, maybe I do these things. And he was really funny, because he is like, Ruth, if you're worried about the checklist, I promise you're not a sociopath, right? It was and he was laughing, but it was like one of those where it was like, and I mean, like, he is just so experienced and knowledgeable and educated on this, and he fought to get the behavior division of the profilers, and it was like, but his thing was their brains work differently. Like he said, it's like one of those things that it's like you can all have a vehicle, but one's a tractor and one's a 4-wheel drive and one's this. They're not made the same. Yeah. Right. And that's what he was like. And so he talked about, the profiling and how they did it and how they would narrow it down. And he said, you can't walk in and go, he eats grilled cheese for lunch and he does this. It's a behavior and a geographic thing.
Geographic?
Right?
What do you mean?
So there was, when we worked on the commission into the missing and murdered women here in BC, one of the people back in the day when women were going missing did a geographic, because most serial killers hunt in an area, right?
Oh, okay.
So you know what I mean? So it's like they don't tend to, like the ones like Ted Bundy and stuff that would go off to different places. That's rare. Okay. They tend to have, and it doesn't necessarily mean where they live.
Oh, okay.
But they go in, so it's geographic of where they're hunting, because and so when you think about a sociopath, and in this book it talks, I don't know if you got there yet, where it talks about there's CEOs, used car salesmen. There's professions that they talk, that there's a bigger percentage of at least narcissists. Yes. Right? And so it's like that. So what are the jobs where you have to be really charming? What are the jobs where where you're focused on the outcome, not the impact, right? So it's stuff like that, right? And it is really interesting, but it's also if you start to put that checklist up against some of the leaders in the world now who have become very transparent about who they are, right? And it's like, oh my God, we keep electing them.
We keep electing them, yeah. Well, not we. Well, no, but.
No, we have Mark Carney. We're pretty happy.
We're good. When you were talking about geographical area, I'm like, so if you're born in like. Here, this state has a higher percentage.
Hey, Roxanne, if you're born on a farm that has an outhouse in Saskatchewan, is that where it was? Where were you born?
Yeah, Saskatchewan.
Okay, so then there's more chances you're going to be a lady.
Now you're freaking me out.
It's not true. She hasn't got to those parts of the book. It's not that. I promise
I'll
you.
Get there.
Not having an indoor bathroom does not make you.
Thank you. Yes, it makes you resilient, is what it does. It makes you very attached to your creature comforts in old age.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. But also it also tells me that every time when we go and you say I have to find a bathroom, you might just be making up for all those times you had to go to the outhouse, man. But see, here's and I mean, dark humor like this is a coping mechanism, but it's also okay to have it, right? Like,
yeah. 100%.
But what are the other things that you would do? Like what? Because for me, I don't turn off the news, and I know I should, but I don't.
So this is a do as she says, not as she does.
It's a concession. So I'm working, but I am working on it. So I don't now. I used to go to sleep, and I would have I'll watch Rachel Maddow for sure. I like Lawrence O'Donnell, so if I'm still awake, I'll pay attention to him. But I used to leave it, and they would repeat, and I'd wake up in the morning like panic because it was in my ear all night because they repeat them, right?
Yeah.
And that's not good for anybody.
No, that's not good. So what I do is I have books that I know how they end, audiobooks that I've read before, and that's what I have in my ear on. I don't have it on repeat. I have it on for 45 minutes and then it goes off. And then if I wake up, I can turn it on again for another 45 or whatever, but 45 is just what I chose. And I'm getting then in my ears something comforting. Right. Now there's also there's an app called Get Sleepy. Have I talked to you about that one?
No.
Get Sleepy. And here's what Get Sleepy is. It is stories, and they actually have people write these stories.
They're boring stories, right?
They're super boring stories. I've considered applying to them and seeing if I could write stories for them. I'm like, I can write stories, and I guarantee you some of them are boring. How boring do you want them to be? I can make that happen.
Funny.
But and they talk in this voice. Mary and John decided to go for a drive. They decided to pack a lunch. So they packed bologna and eggs.
See, already
and
I'd be
potato
like,
chips.
bologna and eggs.
I know,
What?
and you're like, oh, yeah. But
Right.
it's so soothing. And then they'll talk about, and the birds were flying around their picnic area, and then a little robin hopped over to them and took a piece of cheese. It's so peaceful.
I'm going to have to try,
But
because you
it's
know what
also-
my brain would do?
What?
Hurry up. Speak
You can
faster.
speed it. You can
okay, but
speed it
even
up.
then, and then it would be like, well, they're boring, so I'm going to think about everything else.
Yeah. It's, I mean...
I need to try it, though,
I
because
did get bored,
I
and I
might
went back to my books.
Be
But
judging. But, I mean, I play Big Bang Theory. I mean, I think
yeah.
if they ever did it, I don't know how you test it, but if they ever did a what's that world record, Guinness Book of World Records, I'd be the person that's watched the most, or at least listened to the most Big Bang Theories, because I don't actually watch it.
And I will be the Poisonwood Bible expert.
Right, see?
When that happens.
Right, but that's just it. Like, I think
I
we all
want
have-
Barbara Kingsolver to call me and say, what happened in this chapter?
Exactly.
And I will tell her.
Or like, Roxanne, would you do a boring version of my book and
Oh,
speak
I would
boringly?
be
Could
so
you do it?
I would be so sad, but I would do it.
But the other side of that is, and there is a thing, and I'm going to forget, I think it might be ADHD, or maybe it's anxiety, where people like the same things because there is no unexpected problem, right? So they go back to familiar movies, they go back to familiar books, they do the repeats, right?
This is like I love we're rewatching ER, the original ER now, and I love it. And it's been, I don't know, 20, 25 years. I'm not sure how long ago it came out. And I mean, I was an addict then, and I'm an addict now, but that does bring me comfort.
Right,
I know
right.
how it, and my husband is like, we've already seen that movie. How can you stand to watch it again? I'm like, how can you stand not to? We loved it. Why wouldn't you want more of that?
Some of it I can, like, there are some that at Big Bang Theory for me, because, and every once in a while, I think because I've slept through half of them, 'cause,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
But the
exactly.
other side, every
Yeah.
once in a while, it's like, oh, I never heard that joke before, or
Totally.
I forgot I heard it.
Yeah.
But then there are other ones, there are other TV shows, like, I think Friends at the time was brilliant. It irritates me to watch it now.
Does it?
Yes. Like, there's,
Is it the laugh track? Oh, no, because Big Bang has a laugh track
yeah,
too.
but I think and it's only specific episodes where
Okay.
it felt like, because for the first few years anyway, everything was spectacular.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they hit home runs every episode, right? And then it got a bit, you know, it flew off a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
And now I can't help when I watch it. I mean, I see poor Matthew Perry, and you can tell, because he said when he was chubbier, it was alcohol, and when he was skinny, it was cocaine,
yeah.
right? And so it's like, okay, so I know that.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, I know some of the sad stuff, and it's like, it's kind of like, it was this perfect time in the perfect
Yes.
moment,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
part of me wants to leave it just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, too much, right? And
Well, and they grew up, and we grew up with them.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're all grown-ups with ordinary, sad, grown-up lives.
ordinary, joyful grown-up lives.
Joyful.
Remember
I
what
remember.
what this
I remember.
podcast
Okay,
episode is
so
about?
speaking of joyful, finish that because we have to
Okay.
talk about something else.
Okay.
And
We're going
I
to
have
see, we're going to talk about
I
joy.
have to open something, so you're going to see me open bubbles.
Here, it's going to be like a magic
Look at
trick.
this. Can you see this?
Magic
it says
trick. It says
giggle.
water.
What does it say? Gigglewater Prosecco.
Yes.
And the label says live, love, sparkle. And I love that. And it's partly because we don't have any more of our current Stoneboat.
Bubbles. Because
we want
But
bubbles.
we're not, like, I like live, love, sparkle. I really like that
Oh,
as
yeah.
a tagline, but I like ours better.
Oh, ours tastes better.
No,
But-
I mean our tagline.
oh, our tagline.
Our tagline tastes better too. More happy
Our
hours,
tagline
less
tastes
bullshit.
better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. But we have to have this, and I want to open
And
this.
as she's
and
doing
be
all of this, I'm
sparkly
just going to keep
because-
talking.
Well, you have something to say, though. That's why we're
I
drinking
got
this.
plenty to say,
You got plenty to say.
but it's not about.
Let's see.
Look at. Oh, she scared me.
That was a
And I
little
want my necklace.
faster than
I
I
would
was
be
expecting.
joyful if my necklace would like stay where it's supposed to be.
I would be joyful if that
Yeah,
didn't keep happening.
you know, technical difficulties. Are you surprised, people? Okay, I'm here.
You're gonna mix it
Oh my god!
with that?
It's
Come on.
cheap bubbles.
Well, whatever. I'm gonna pour mine first.
You,
Then
okay? Actually, her glass was empty. so-
mine is empty. I know what I'm doing.
Okay, there I am.
Here.
So here's the deal. So on, I don't know, Wednesday, Thursday-ish, we thought there were people who'd come see in the house twice, and there was all the good things happening, and they were just waiting for a family property sale to close, and it was all going to be good. And we were kind of probably 80% expecting an offer, and then the next day we get a text, and it's like, yeah, there's some family issues over the inheritance, right? Which means they're fighting about money. So I was like, well, dang, we were all wound up for it.
So that would be number 3 close call
Yep.
for you guys, right?
Yep.
Because you've had
maybe even 4.
Yeah, you've had
Right,
several.
so we've had just bad timing or
Yeah.
external events happen that we had nothing to do with it. So it's like, okay, well, here we go again, because we're back at square one, which is actually what Paul texted to Stephen, our amazing realtor. And then there was an open house, and, honestly, I didn't hold much hope. And then all of a sudden, I'm writing to Roxanne, because, like, Stephen, who works to downplay your expectations, to manage them, which is his job. He phoned me to be excited about somebody who had come through the open house, right? And it was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, either the house is on fire when I saw the call come in, or there's somebody that might put in an offer, because I was like...
Where your brain goes,
right?
My house is on fire.
Yeah. But then at the meeting, and then it was somebody that was interested. And then Roxanne was like, hey, I think there's somebody that could work, and blah, blah, and she's messaging me. So we ended up getting an offer.
Yay!
Right? So, which is good. And it's a lovely person who I haven't met, but Roxanne.
I've seen her, and I spoke with her brother at length, but
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her
but
exactly.
she seems to love the house. She has a dog. Right? She has people that she knows in the community. I think she's going to move
It's
in
a
and love
perfect
the house.
fit.
It is a perfect
Yeah.
fit for her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to sell or give notice.
Yeah.
So if by the time you all see this, we will have hopefully removed all subjects, knock on wood.
You will.
And we will only be a week out.
Yeah.
From
It's a
from
short closing.
So April
Yeah.
9th she would move in.
Amazing.
So cheers.
Cheers and congratulations. That's a big deal.
Thank freaking God.
It's
Just
a big
saying.
deal.
Well, thank God.
And it's thank goddess, yes. And it's like you wait all this. So we had when did we sell? Just before Christmas?
Yeah.
I forget which
Yeah.
way the house we bought or the
Yeah.
one we're selling.
Yeah.
But we put a 6-month closing
Yeah.
on ours because we hadn't quite. Anyway,
There's a chain of events.
There's a chain of events, and ours was long, and yours started off long and then went longer.
Yeah.
But we did the same thing, right? So here you put all that time in beforehand, and now you get this little tiny window, which is perfect. It probably
It is.
averages out to be a pretty
Yeah.
average
Yeah.
length of time.
Yeah.
In
Especially in this
end,
market, right?
In this market,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nope, and that's just it.
That is so exciting.
and you have to celebrate the things, right?
You
Like
have
do.
to.
'Cause-
So
yeah.
I woke up the night after. Was that yesterday? Yeah, because of course I'm like getting ready for Ruth to come and visit.
Yes, was that just yesterday? It was just yesterday.
It was just
Oh my
yesterday.
God.
I know.
That's why we're tired today.
Yeah, a little bit. And we also had an event to go to last night that was super fun. But,
Yes.
but yeah, I woke up so happy because I'm attached to that house too, but I'm attached to this one, and the time has come to
Yeah.
say goodbye to all of that.
But that's
so
just it, right? And it just lifts this, like, because especially if these guys are moving, and I mean we have lots of very good, lovely friends and neighbors, but these guys would go in and check stuff, and they get things done. Like I'm pretty sure Ray's over there maybe sawing a door in half so I can take it home to the dump in my Jeep. But so it's like. But it was like, oh my God, they're going to be gone, and we're going to have to. And in your head, when you've had so many close calls and it didn't go,
Yeah.
you're like, it's never going to sell.
yeah, you end up feeling that way. You know what that's like? That's like when you're 9.5 months pregnant,
Yeah.
and you're like, I should have had this baby already.
Even though logically you know it's going to happen.
You know,
But
it's
like-
not going to go
but-
on forever.
But that's just it. But it is, and you have to celebrate the things, right? Like you have
Exactly.
to, it's like, it's one of those things where I went in and I went through a bit today, and it was like I just went through, and it's like we had fun in that house. We've had
We
fun
did.
in this house.
We did.
Right? And you have to acknowledge it and then move on. But it kind of goes into what we're talking about the joy. It's like take those moments while you can. There is
Yes,
nothing wrong with
exactly.
celebrating them,
Yeah.
right? Like the other stuff is like, what are the joys? Like I'm not doing as much cooking as I have in the past, but I'm doing more since from the time we moved, because I don't really have to cook. We could just walk to the grocery store and get
Right,
stuff, right?
right.
Like it's easy. But it's like now I actually bought a blueberry pie, and it was from the grocery store, and I've been ruined by my friend Stephen Hodgson. Because he taught me how to make really good crust,
Your
and
crust
he makes
is
really
amazing.
good. He makes really good pies, right? And I got this one home, and granted, it was blueberry, and I know blueberry is hard. I make great blueberry pie, so and I'm not
It
a
needs
baker.
lemon.
and it
right?
needs like
the filling,
fresh, and
yeah.
it needs like when I did it, it was like. It wasn't even like blueberry jelly that you'd make with, when you make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or whatever. It wasn't even like that. It was like...
Was it runny?
No. And you couldn't even see a blueberry. It was like purpley paste.
Oh, so it was all the filler stuff. All that, yeah.
And it was like, honestly, it was just like, I couldn't, it's like, no. This is a waste of calories and a waste of, like, I couldn't even do it. But it was one of those funny things where it was like, it doesn't take, honestly, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it doesn't take that long to make a good pie crust. Really doesn't.
It doesn't take me long at all when you're around.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, and for me, pie crust
but your
is
recipe,
not hard.
Stephen's recipe,
oh my God, it's beautiful.
Is really good. And I've done that one, and it is really good. It is really good.
But so you find, okay, I didn't find the joy in the crappy pie. But you find joy in that.
But it reminded you of
right,
the,
of cooking.
And that's, like, I made, my husband was gone, my husband Ray, was gone this past week. And so I was, sleeping in the middle of the bed, eating whenever I want, all the things you do.
Sitting in whatever chair.
Yeah, sitting in whatever chair. And then the week, toward the end of the week, I'm like, oh, I'm bored. I want to tell him stuff because he's the guy I tell stuff to, and he's not here, and he's not answering his phone.
Damn it.
But it was, while he was gone, I was thinking, okay, so what do I want to eat? I'm going to make exactly what I want.
Yep.
And then maybe I'll make something that is ready for him when he comes home. He can have that too. And I made biscuits, like buttermilk biscuits, which I haven't made for years probably. And it's with the technique where you fold and then you fold and so they were flaky. They had these layers to them. They were just so good. And I let myself enjoy them. And let myself just be like, I don't care. These are loaded with butter. I take a statin. I can have all the butter I want. Terrible attitude. Don't be like me.
That's not how she lives.
But it was like, you know what? Food is a way of celebrating.
It is, and it's a path to joy, right? Whether you're the one that likes to make it or you're the one that likes to eat it. It's like, and that's just it. Like and it's like. If you can find time near water, if you live near a lake or a river or an ocean or a stream, anything that you can do, right? Honestly, put some water out, out back and let the birds have a bird bath in a bowl, or being outside gardening.
Yeah.
Sitting, like I was standing out on the back deck of the house that, knock on wood, will be someone else's beauty castle. And I was like listening to the creek, right? And that's the magic of, like, if you just stop for a minute, right? And find those things, but you have to proactively do it these days.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a question for you about grounding.
Yes.
Because Paul's into that,
yes.
Right? Does he have a grounding sheet?
We had a grounding sheet.
Okay.
But we hadn't.
Oh, this is going to mess up the algorithm. I regret even saying it.
Oh yeah, now she's going to get all the things.
Get all the ads
we haven't used it over there, but we used it here.
Okay.
And I have to say, I could feel differences.
Oh.
I thought Paul for a while thought it was really helpful for his back, but the first little couple of weeks, I'd get up in the morning and I'd be a little like, I feel weird. Like there was. Like, and I didn't feel bad, but it was a little bit disorienting when you got up, right? And there's lots of people that really swear by them. I'd have to go back and see because it was all in the middle of the move, so it's hard to tell what was exhaustion from the move and what that kind of thing. But we should put it back on and see, because it's like it seemed to do some good, but again, I'd like to see the science on it, mostly so I could argue with your husband, Ray. But I think so. But Paul is really good, like grounding outdoors. Like he will always.
This is what I wanted to ask about. So the house that we're moving to it's built on a rock, right? It's built on this rock and has like you can see it. It's just a giant rock in the backyard and concrete.
Oh my God. Right.
But so there's no grass, so we're going to build a little artificial turf area for the dogs. But it's all concrete in the back, and this gorgeous rock wall behind us with a little stream and lots of trees and stuff like that. So it's not like there's no nature, but no grass is weird. But then I thought, well, can you get the same grounding effect?
Yes.
Because it's all about the energy of the earth, right?
Yep.
So sitting on that rock,
yes,
at the back.
I just Googled it, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So it's like soil, sand, gravel, right? Yeah, but like it's like, because it is the energy of the earth, right? Grass just happens to feel good on your feet.
Yes, exactly.
Right, but it's like from the energy of the earth is what's coming out. And it's funny because, interestingly, so the Maori of New Zealand, we were there, and because we worked with Tourism New Zealand, we saw all of these different cultural events and all that kind of thing. But even in the haka, when you see they do this with their hands, that's pulling energy from the earth.
Oh, okay.
Right, like, and so if you look at a lot of indigenous communities, tribes, and such, it's that's exactly what they do, and that's why the earth has been off kilter, because we've gone into concrete jungles.
Right.
And so being able to, whatever it is, and honestly, I'm of the mind that even if you were in an apartment building and you couldn't get your feet into anything, look up to the sky.
Right.
Yeah. Like there are levels of what the benefit might be, but some benefit's good no matter what.
The haka is one of the reasons I wanted to go to New Zealand.
Oh, that's funny.
I wanted to see that in person.
Yeah.
And we didn't see it in person. Did we see it in person? We went to the All Black Museum,
Right. Yeah.
and we saw the rugby players, the big New Zealand rugby player museum. It was amazing, and we saw lots of footage of them. It was off season when we were there, so we couldn't see a game, but oh my goodness. Yeah.
But the magic of that, like, that's just it, right?
Of what they, their dance, and knowing that they are doing this as warriors, and they're collecting themselves, and they're getting energy from each other, and they're strengthening their own bond, and they're bringing it in from the earth, and their ancestors,
but
and
that's
like
just
all
it.
of this
and
stuff.
so you think of this, I mean, the All Blacks are world famous, and they are now, it's an incredibly modern country. Oh, yeah. And yet the connection to their ancestors and to the culture and all of that, and it's like, and you see it. We went to it was actually a rugby school, so they had these young people. It was like an all male school, but these young people, and they came out to talk to us about rugby and what they're learning and all that stuff. And then they surprised us by doing a haka, and so these were kids that were probably from 8 to 10 to maybe just graduating, like our version of high school. And they did it. And I have to say, so having these kids who are just sweet little kids talking to us a minute ago, and they turned into these creatures, right, with doing it. But it was kind of hard not to look and be like, you were just giggling with me a minute ago. I don't know what to do. Like it, but it was really... And
talking about... water and the ocean, my oldest daughter was just saying that they've taken the kids to a resort near the ocean, Tainamara.
Nice.
And right. So they're running around there right now, and that's
awesome.
that's such a fun place, and it's such a I mean, the island has its own feel, right? As soon as you come across, you get off the ferry, and you're on the inside passage side of the island, so it's not the wild side, but it still feels wild. It still feels fresh and salty and full of nature and birds, and
there's a vibe.
There's a vibe. So that's where they are right now, and
that's
I'm
cool.
looking at pictures of the kids running, and I'm just like, that's so great.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, that's really nice.
They are about to move too, so they've got some stress.
But hanging on,
and this is perfect.
It's those finding the joy where you can, right?
Yes.
And so I think that's part of this thing, of whatever it is. Like if doing crossword puzzles, if sitting, watching a rom-com or Criminal Minds, whatever it is, it's like you have to hold on to that and also take the moments. And I think I'm learning this a lot from Threads, is take the moment if you can bring joy to others.
Yes. That was the big message from the one post that I was, it was a blog post or it was an email, I forget, I think it was Robert Reich. Who sent it, and that was sort of the gist that he was talking about, was the things that you do for others will bring you joy, right? And this is such a simple, basic, we've all heard it, do unto others, all this stuff, but that it's a scary thing to do that, right? To extend yourself and do something you don't know maybe how it's going to be received, but it's an act of courage. And when you make someone else happy, it's an act of courage to do things, to volunteer things for other people, and to step out of your comfort zone. And we tend to, I think, pull in when we feel threatened, right? That's a very natural human response. turtling and going into our shells and all that.
Yeah.
But that, I think, makes us feel more scared, right? But when we come out anyway and do the scary thing, then at least you can say, "Ooh, I did a scary thing and now I feel stronger."
Yeah.
In addition to whatever
Right, the
relief
positive
or
right,
good
whatever
thing that
you put
did.
forward,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because they may do it too, and you're and I think that's it. Like putting yourself out, and it doesn't have to be a big leap. You don't have to go up to a random stranger, right? It's like, do you know somebody who's maybe dealing with whether it's a cold or something more, right? Could you drop off soup? Could you just check in on them?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I do that.
You're really good at
lots.
that. You're really
right?
good at
Because
that.
it's just like, I haven't seen you, I haven't heard from you, that kind of thing. But I think it's just really important. Or go out of your way and, there are times, and I've heard people say, don't do it in the coffee lineup because the person behind you can afford the coffee. But the fact is, you're right, but it's a nice thing to do. And it doesn't mean you're not going to contribute to those, like, to the food bank or to other
There's
things,
always
right?
going to be somebody there to tell you how whatever the
Yeah.
kind thing that you're doing is wrong or not good enough or just not
You just can't.
necessary, and you have to ignore that.
Yeah.
You have, because
You
that
really
whole
do.
thing, that pay it forward in the coffee line. It's still, if somebody did that for me, I would just be like, "What, really?"
Yeah.
And it would make me want to do something
Well,
else for someone else.
But sometimes what happens is then it starts a chain of things,
That's
right?
it.
Which is really cool.
That's it. Yeah.
But even so, there was a thing, and it was somewhere on social, I read it, but a fellow that's like, if he's going up and the person, working the till is cranky, especially at grocery store stuff, busy, that kind of thing. And he gets there and he said, usually it irritates them a bit, but he'll say, "Oh, I need to bring a candy bar, chocolate bar to, my niece, whatever. I need to get a candy bar." And it's like, I don't know what to buy. What's your favorite? And if the person says whatever, right, a crunchy bar, he buys one and then he comes back and he gives it to the person, right, the
Aw.
cashier person, which is really sweet,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or it's like usually when people, there's a difference when somebody's just a bit of a jerk as opposed
Sure.
to they're having a hard day.
Yeah.
And usually, if somebody's not being very friendly or they're being brusque or whatever, and they're a service worker, I'm always like, you have a hard job, hey?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that changes everything.
And I've started doing the same thing, engaging with, especially the grocery store clerks, right? And
Well, because they get yelled at for prices, and it's not their fault.
absolutely they do, yeah. And I'm so lucky. I don't need a lot of groceries because it's just the two of us, and we can afford what we need.
Yep.
So, I go through and I think, what is it like to do that job?
Yep.
And hi, how are you?
Yeah.
How long? When does your shift end?
Yeah,
And
but that when
have
you
got
get a
any,
break.
Have you got any plans tonight?
Yeah.
And are
Yeah.
you or
it's just a little bit of
or
humanity,
just like,
right?
oh my gosh, who does your hair? Like that color's amazing, right? Like little things like that are. I know it's a big deal for me when that happens, and
Right.
so it's really, really delightful.
Yeah.
To be able to honestly and
Yeah.
organically.
Yeah, like
just
you can't if you're not feeling it, don't
No,
don't
you
do
can't
it. It's
fake it.
because you can
No.
because you can tell when it's
Yeah.
not true, right? But it's like just reaching out to give somebody like, because now we all know that I might not be the most organized human in the world. So
You're
when I
pretty
see somebody,
organized.
but when I see somebody like who knows how to pack a grocery bag,
Oh yeah.
right, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh my goodness, like
Oh yeah.
this is it. Like, it's like they're playing Tetris, but they're
Yeah.
doing it with my eggs.
That's what I always say too, Tetris. We're
Yeah.
packing right now, so
Yeah.
we have boxes lining the house right now. And I am a lifelong Tetris fan, and I want packing to be done. I want every box to be exactly full,
Yeah.
nothing shifting. And like, okay, stand back. I got this box. Do not mess with.
Yeah.
Do not mess
Right.
with it.
It's like don't.
But yeah, so when somebody packs your groceries like that, I appreciate it.
But that's it. Like
Yeah.
and so when you say it, and that's what I often think about somebody, and it's like, oh, I think about a really good interaction or something I admire, and I'll message them and just say, I was just thinking about you. And here's the thing, because so often we think it, but we don't say it.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Yeah, I'm bad for that,
Yeah.
and that's it's a thing to observe. So I just said something to myself that's negative. I'm bad at
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I recognize that. So how am I going to be different? How am I going to be better? It's a constant.
But you're aware that you're working to make it a strength.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. And that's what I'm focusing on is, and there's times when you're so completely depleted, you don't have it in you. You can't do it. So, like you said, there's no point in doing it if it's fake.
Yeah. Or right? If you're just so exhausted, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to respect who you, and that goes back to another thing. Like I do, and I have taken breaks from social media. I mean, I'm starting to do decoupage on oyster shells.
Oh, that's what that is. Yeah.
And it's like, really? I never had any interest, and now I've got like 4,000 napkins and about 30 oyster shells, right? And it's like, but that because you have to focus on it,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And so it takes you away from all this stuff, and I think we are so bombarded right now, and it's every day feels worse. But so what's one thing that can pull you out of it? Is it cooking? Is it finding something to do? Is it art? Is it a book? Is it?
And I think there's something.
Puzzle?
I think there's something important about it being novel, about it being new, something you haven't done before, right? Because you're pushing yourself a little bit for change,
and your brain has to work differently, right?
And we are surrounded by change. And on that note, I will give my little book recommendation for the episode. And I think I may have given this one before, but it's okay. It's called The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, and this will be familiar to many of you. It's a very I'm quite sure they made a television series out of it, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll check into that. But one of the things that, and it's this is going to gross you out. It is
notice how she looks at me.
Not in a bad way, but it is what do you call it when it's a bad future? Dystopian. So it's a dystopian novel.
I like it when she asks me about a word and then she answers her own question.
I don't know what year it was written. It was written a while ago. But it's a dystopian future set in 2027. And the world is on fire, and it's horrible. And there's a water shortage, and it's largely set in California. And it's about a group of people who are trying to move as basically homeless nomads through this rampant crime-filled world that they're surrounding themselves in. They're just trying to get somewhere where it rains once a year, so there's water. And there's jobs that pay money, not just room and board.
Right.
So anyway, but it's in the voice of the main characters, and the main narrator is an 18-year-old young woman who is basically building a new religion. And her concept that goes throughout the book is that God is change. God is change. If you look at the idea of God as a power, change is the only constant in the world. And the idea that to change, there will always be things changing, right? Our world is always changing right now for the worse, but it will come back to be for the better. It has to after this. At least we hope. Where else can it go?
Right. Well.
But the idea, I think, of staying nimble ourselves to change involves doing things that are different.
Yes.
So you doing decoupage, which you've never done before, is something that is teaching your brain, I'm okay with change. I can handle this.
That's interesting.
I can do something different that's hard. I've not done it before. I don't know what it's going to look like. I might not be good at it. Oh, but look at it. I did it. And now look, I've got something pretty to show for it at the end of it.
Yeah.
I can do change.
And there's achievement. So there is somebody, and I'm going to think it's maybe Malcolm Gladwell, who said something. It was a whole book that was based on the premise of it's not going to be the most learned among us that will be the leaders of tomorrow. It will be those who can adapt to change.
Ooh, shivers.
Yeah.
Goosies.
Goosing it. But like the other thing, like even talking about it, it's like small joys. Like although did you notice Roxanne? She's reading a book that's about a dystopian future in 2027, and she's reading about how to spot a serial killer. like I don't even know. I'm reading another Ellen Hilderbrand novel because she takes me away from the world, right? Like she's
her books are so hopeful,
and they you care about the characters even when they're flawed characters. Like she creates it so that you're rooting for them, and so it moves you out of it. Like you just want to be in there, because one of the things I think that, I mean, it's grown since I know you, because I hear you talking about the plot points and the layers and all these things. So it's like a director going to a movie where they're like, oh, what about that? And like, it's like, but in my head, it's always been, oh, I can see what's coming. Right.
Yeah.
But with hers, I don't.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Which is,
interesting.
and it's not that it's implausible what she does. It's just that she lays the groundwork so well that you are really just going along with the character instead of like.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm jumping ahead to like, well, I know what happens here because like, it's like a episodic TV, right? It's a formula.
You're waiting for something to happen because you know how the plot points are supposed to fall. Oh, I'm really happy right now. That means I'm going to be upset or scared or worried or something bad's going to happen.
That's like, it's like TV. Like you watch Law and Order and it's like, starts off, there's a situation and then looks like might be resolution, but it's not because it was wrong.
It's the false triumph.
But like that's like, there's all these and you can do it. And so you could go, oh, so here's what's going to happen here. Right. Because, and it doesn't mean it's not good. It just means they have a formula, right? And that's what TV, like, and that's why Netflix showed up and Crave because they wanted to move away from that network TV formula, right?
Yeah. And yet, and I'm going to get geeky here now, they are still following the same structure. Yeah. They're just doing it a little bit more organically and with the guardrails have been expanded a little bit because the beats are still falling at the right spot. Because that's human. But that's the human story, right? That's like, the story.
But that's just it. And I think because if you're paying attention, if you do anything in the world as a storyteller, you're always paying attention not just to the story itself, but to the layers of storytelling that are like you're just going like, oh, that was good, right? And you like I've gone back and watched movies again because it was like not for the story again, but it's like, how'd they do that?
Exactly, to identify those points, right? Because when you're in it, when you're experiencing it, which is how you should be consuming media, you should be like totally into it and paying attention. And yet, like you said, if you have, that training at all or you've learned these things, it's impossible not to see it. But I do the same thing. And I was super obnoxious when I was first learning this stuff. I'd be like, oh, dark moment coming. See, look at the timing. Do you see it? It's happening at the right time. I told you it would happen.
Right, but it's like I can remember sort of, I forget who it was, but somebody like who worked in the movie industry was like somebody was going on about the cinematography of a movie, and the fellow who was like as a tech person, right, like not it wasn't an actor or anything, but they were like, if you're being pulled out enough to realize how good the cinematographer is, they didn't do their job.
That's right.
Right? If you took a step back enough to go, oh, that's great cinematography, that broke the storytelling.
Yes, right? Exactly. Because that's the whole point, is to immerse your viewer, your reader into the story so much that they are there. So the thing that we're saying, in fact, is if you can do it in your personal life for a moment these days, and it could be having people over that you cook for, or it could be walking on the beach with a good coffee early in the morning or late at night, depending on what your coffee consumption's like. But it's like, it's really like we're doing the nice thing for somebody else, right? Like it's really fun when you're doing something nice for people and you know it and they don't know it. Oh,
right?
yeah.
And it's like that moment is really fun.
Right, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And spring's coming, so we're all like...
what I was about to say?
What? Oh, God, what?
I was about to say, you'd be a scary neighbor. I've been on the receiving end. No. It's fun.
But the other I have to do is tell you guys this. So I'm on the ferry coming over here, and I don't know, I need an answer from Paul about something. And I'm just about to text Roxanne and say, can you just go kick Paul, right? Because he's not answering my texts. And then it's like, she doesn't live beside Paul.
Wait a second. She doesn't live there anymore. Wait a second. I'm the one who moved. It's me. I'm the problem. Did it go that far?
Really? No, but do you sense a theme? Right? Anyway, but I think it is really important. And even this is when you can find a way to laugh. Like there is enough freaking tragedy. Yeah. But it's like, like the thing is, we can't control wars. We can't control the stock market. We can't control political events. We can't control global crises. But we can control how we treat people. We can control how we support our friends and family and how we show up in our communities. Yeah. And if you do nothing but that, if you don't worry about the Big Bang Theory or finding a good book or putting your feet in the grass or on the beach or whatever it is, if you do those things, you will find joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And even when it's hard. And sometimes if I'm feeling like the world is really, really hard, and you know what I do? I go take a look around and see how many people are dreaming of having the life I have, right?
Yes.
And you go out there and then
Yeah.
you realize, wow, I have it pretty good. And not that you're not allowed to feel sorry for yourself or feel sad or anything, but you also have to look around and say, is this a big problem that's going to take me down, or is it just a today problem?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if it's a today problem, then pull the covers over your head and wallow in it.
And you know, on that note, if that is something that you can't seem to get out of, there is no shame in drugs and therapy.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no shame, because there comes a
We call it medicine.
drugs. I say drug, pharmaceutical. Better living through pharmaceuticals. But you know, like if you get to a place where you're overwhelmed and you cannot do these things,
Yes.
that is not. Do not feel
Oh my God, no.
ashamed or overwhelmed.
That's what
or,
therapy's for, and
Yes.
psychiatrists
And-
and medical doctors.
Go find somebody. As I will tell you from personal experience, getting your brain chemistry back in
Yeah.
order might be the first step in being able to cope with your life.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I think we have to acknowledge that it can be situational, right? There's stuff like we weren't selling our house, and it's like, come on, man, here's the deal. But I could identify that.
Yes.
Right. But
Yeah.
there have been times in my life, and thank goodness, for therapy and also for doctors, right, and medication. But there have been times when it's like, this isn't just about the, I didn't get the job, or I didn't get the promotion, or I didn't whatever, or about being overwhelmed. It's like, this is more, and brain chemistry. If your cholesterol was out of sync or your blood pressure was, you would go get help. So brain chemistry is the same.
And it may simply be that you need some chemical help for a while in order to get you through a really difficult patch, or it could be that there's something that's got knocked out.
Right, it's out of whack.
And you have to just reset that. Maybe you'll need the drugs for the rest of your life. Maybe you won't.
Yep.
Maybe what you'll do, I clearly remember going on to a drug, an antidepressant that was an augmentation of another drug that I was on. And what happened to me was, and I'm somebody, you'll find this difficult to believe, but just trust me, I did not speak my mind very much. And I was somebody who held things in a lot, and I started on a new drug, and I was in the driveway just doing my thing, and somebody walked past on the other side of the street with their dog had a poop, and they were about to walk away. And I, without thinking, like it was automatic, I said, "Oh, hey, did you forget a bag? That happens to me all the time. Here you go. I've got one for you." And I walked over and gave them a bag, and they then picked up the poop and walked away. They were going to leave it.
Right.
But instead of freaking out on them, either freaking out on them and saying, "What is wrong with you? You can't leave that there." Or maybe they actually did forget it. It happens to all of us,
happen.
right? And all you want is somebody to be like, either to not see you do your crime, or to help you out with a bag. And instead of me then thinking, I should have said something, but what would I have said? Would I have been mad at him? Or would I wish I could speak out more. Oh, I'm so,
Right.
No, the drug helped me be
Get
the
past
person that I am inside, that I couldn't be without it.
Right.
And
right.
now,
But that's just
I speak my
right?
mind, maybe possibly too much, but
anyway. But I think that's also, and that's another thing you can do. So one of the things that I'm going to have to figure out, because I don't remember things like she does, but there was something where it was like, what if you just lived your life and you gave everyone the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's like you never think, oh, they're being snide, or oh, they're doing this, or they left me out.
Yes.
It's like, oh, what if they know, I don't know, rock operas aren't my thing, and that's why I didn't get invited. Although not really rock operas, because I would have gone to yours, but they didn't have any tickets. They sold out.
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever
they
it was
were.
called. Yeah, they did. Yeah. But
They
but you know what I mean?
disappeared.
Like, what if it was, instead of like, well, I've mowed the grass 3 times and my neighbor hasn't, not talking about them, right? Like, I'm not talking about real neighbors, but I'm just thinking, I'm thinking about some others that don't always, mow the lawn, right? They just do that. But instead of that, it's like, well, maybe they were worried. They shouldn't have.
Right.
Or maybe they're not feeling well.
Or maybe they're like me, pre-drugs, and they can't say the thing that they want to say because they don't know how to say it, and they're awkward about it.
Yeah. And people are like really, really awkward about things, right?
Most people, this is, I think, that I try to keep coming back myself. Most people are mostly good.
Yes. But
Most
that's just
people
it.
are mostly
And you know
good.
what? I have to say, like, remembering that because it's really easy to get into especially if somebody's been cranky or, there's been stuff going on, and it's like you see a neighbor do something that, and I keep saying neighbor, and I swear to God, I don't mean her. But
not taking it personally
or
here.
you see a colleague.
All
you
fine.
See, or you see a colleague, right?
Yeah.
That it's like, I don't know, so you see them and they don't put the coffee money in when they get coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of making an assumption, maybe they're having a tough time.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody, like, we were one time in Thailand, and we're in Bangkok, and Bangkok has crazy traffic, right?
Oh, I bet.
We were in like a little tuk-tuk, and the guy was there, and he kept letting people in, and I mean, I had to go to the bathroom, so I really wanted to go. But it was like, and then after a while, like, we had been stuck there for a little bit, but then the guy was like, just, going along, and we were on vacation, so except for the bathroom moment, it wasn't so bad. But then at one time, it was like, how do you stay so calm in all this traffic, and people cut you off? And he's like, well, maybe they're just having a hard day.
Aww.
And it was like, oh my goodness, so this person does this for a living.
Right.
And they could give people grace.
But that is their everyday. How else could you be a healthy, productive human being in that situation without doing that?
So think about what we're living in now.
Yeah,
then we have to adapt to that, right?
But okay, so this is probably for a different podcast, but there's times when you have to be Jesus flipping the tables at the temple, right? Where you can't give them the benefit.
I like it when she does religious references. It makes me laugh.
You can't give people the benefit of the doubt because they have very clearly violated.
No, that's different. That's completely different. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, that's a whole other one.
I think that would be a fun one to do.
Roxanne flipping the tables. That's what we're going to call it. The podcast about when Roxanne flipped the tables. Well, actually, she yelled at somebody in Costco.
I did, yeah. But like
you didn't really. You just cried.
There was yelling. I cried after I walked away from her.
It is a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like I think that's it. Like you have to be able to say, like, the other thing is like, look at the things of the people who are standing up, right? That are pushing back in the resistance. And again, my sister did a thing because and she's right, because there's a lot of U.S. hedge fund owned media in Canada, and broadcast media not so much. Is that right, or is it print media? No, it's print media. So broadcast media has a different thing. Print media, like the National Post and like all it, and they lean conservative, so they end up using basically Republican talking points a lot. Conrad Black is a Trump supporter, right?
Okay.
Stuff like that. But she's trying to get American ownership out of Canadian media, and she put out a thing and got enough signatures, so it's going to be presented on the floor in the House of Commons.
I signed it.
Yes, see, but that's a good thing. So she takes her anger and she does things.
Yeah,
right. And I think she does the thing, right? Yeah. And she does a couple things, but she doesn't do 400 things.
Right. And she does the thing that she knows,
and that she
can do, that she's good at, that she's knowledgeable about.
And she's passionate about that.
Yeah.
Like if somebody came to me and said, okay, we're going to do whatever it is, X, and it's about protesting in the street and, doing all of this stuff, and it's like, that's not me. I can help you promote it.
Yeah.
And I can do this.
I'll feed you while you're doing it.
Or I'll write your speech. But it's like, okay, we're going to go down and we're going to, and not that I would absolutely go if they needed all those numbers, but I'm never going to, that's never going to be my thing. So don't put people in the wrong places.
Yeah.
But find the thing you care about and be able to do that. And whether that's, you can give some money, or whether it's you can share, or you can go back on misinformation. Or, and more people are saying to their Trump supporting relatives and the Pierre Poilievre supporting relatives here, you're not welcome here because it is now past politics, right? It is about human rights now.
Yeah.
And so you're doing stuff like that, which is really freaking hard.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, I won't travel to the U.S., there are people I know that are traveling to the U.S. right now, and that makes me respect them less. And you know what happens when you respect them less? You make less time for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's true. And so I think this would be our challenge for people, is to not to give you a to-do list, not to give you a task that will add to the overwhelm
likes giving tasks, just saying.
that you're already experiencing, but to just think about what are the things you're passionate about. Just be aware of this as you go along in the next week or two. What are the things you're passionate about? What are the things that might be an area that you could do something with. Just observe it.
Yes, that like that, and it comes to you.
It will come to you, and it's
and step away from it if you need
Yeah.
to, right? Like I think we forget that, right?
yeah,
Like
and also be aware of. Be open to, because if you don't know it, you won't see it. But the idea of doing something new, like something new, even just a little tiny something new, like decoupage on oyster shells, right? Cracks your brain open to doing other new things.
But it does, and do the one thing, like even if it's just a little shift, right? You don't have to overwhelm yourself with I have to learn all this.
No.
Like take it and do the thing and do something that's just for you.
Yeah.
But also remember, just take a little look around sometimes when you see somebody struggling, right? Like, is there somebody, in the grocery store that you see, or somebody on the bus that, I just read a whole thing about, like, and I'm always paying attention to, especially a single parent with a baby in an airport or something, because usually they're getting snide looks. And honestly, I used to be one of those people. But now there's a baby crying, and sometimes, especially if the person has a baby and another kid, and it's like, hi.
Those are hard.
My name's Ruth, and can I sit here with a coffee, and maybe me and little Jake there can play checkers, right? Or they're on a plane and the baby's crying and the poor mom, and it's like, do you want me to? And I mean, I'm afraid I'm going to drop a baby, but it's like if I'm in a plane seat, I'm okay. It's like, do you want me to have this so you could eat?
Yeah.
Right? Could I take the baby?
It's not like that you can go anywhere and abduct the kid,
but that's just it, right? Like if there's
Yeah.
little moments where you can help, or a mom like is it clearly in the kid's having a meltdown and wants chocolate or doing something, just a little like, you know what, even though, I mean, I'm not a parent, it's like, you know what, we've all been there, it's okay.
You know what you're describing, what we're talking about through here, all of this just takes me back to our last episode where we talked about the matriarch,
right?
The matriarchy, right? And this is all matriarchal behavior we're talking about. And this is the matriarchy as opposed to, and again, just a little recap, the matriarchy is not about women are better than men, just like the patriarchy is not about men are better than women, and replacing women in leadership with men just creates another bad system. But the matriarchal behavior is where we are looking around and seeing how can we create a solid community, how can we take care of people in a way that doesn't have to be top down. Right? And so we are all the matriarchs here, and we have to look after each other.
Yeah, and I think that's just it. And I think it's a bit of a branding issue, because certainly people can get their backs up about the matriarchy, thinking that it's just because the only thing to compare it to is the patriarchy, which hasn't worked.
That's right.
Right, and so it is. But that's exactly it. It's like, if you can lift somebody up, I promise you will feel better for it.
Yeah.
Right, and so I'm trying to remember. Might have been the Big Bang Theory. Is anybody surprised? Where it was like, by doing a good deed. Oh no, I think it was Friends doing a good deed, because Phoebe wanted to do a good deed where she didn't feel good.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
and so
because she didn't think that she should have that feeling
but
afterwards.
That's just it,
so if
then
she got
it's
something,
self-serving.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
That was a good episode.
And so you can't don't think like that. It's okay to get the joy from it, right? If you help somebody.
Yeah.
And we've all seen those memes. Some kid's going to a job interview and he can't get his tie and he's got a headache, and there's all and everybody on the subway, it's like somebody shows him how to fix the tie, and somebody says, here's aspirin, somebody goes, here's water, right? And you've all heard these stories about stuff, but that's what we have to do, and we have to do it more visibly now, I think. Right? And it's one
I've
of those.
I've seen those commercials. I've never seen that in real life, though.
Yeah. What? Some people helping?
Yeah, on a subway.
I've seen.
Well, I mean, I don't ride the subway.
No, but in Toronto, I can remember.
That may be a factor.
Yeah, but that's just like, but you don't take public transportation. But I've been in Toronto where it's like somebody might get on and they look a little kerfuffled, and maybe it's a young woman and somebody's hitting on her, and I've seen people get up and move over and go, "What are you doing?"
Ooh.
Right, like I've seen in Toronto, I've seen lots in Toronto where people stepped up to help each other.
Wow.
Right, and I mean, it's been years since I've been on a subway or anything like that, but I've also seen it, like, I've been in places, I was in, the first time, and it was years ago, I was in Paris, and my suitcase was too big, and we took the public transportation from the airport, because it's a train, right, it's easy, unless you have a big suitcase upstairs. But you know what happens there? Somebody comes and carries your suitcase up for you.
Wow.
And usually it's a very handsome Parisian man.
Nice.
But you know what I mean? Like that's just it. Like, it's like people will help you, and especially if it's obvious, it's obvious you're challenged. And so we would all step up. Like, everybody has stepped up where somebody's like, "Oh my God, I have to take this out. I don't have enough." And it's like, it's $5. I've got it. Right? We just have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, everybody's figuring this out. We haven't, at least, in recorded history that we know of, we haven't gone through anything as chaotic as this, right? And we're all worried about this stuff, and we all have different worries. The young people are worried about what's their future.
Yeah.
People our age are worried about what's our retirement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's all the thing, but it's like you have to take care of you first. What's that? The whole thing about if you get the plane, the oxygen, right?
Yeah.
You got it. You have to take care of you,
Yeah.
but look for the thing is, it's like if you get a red car, then there's all these red cars. If you start to look for the joy,
Yes.
You're gonna
Once
find
you
the
start
joy.
to look for it
Yeah.
and see it, you'll see it around
Yeah.
you everywhere, and that I think is that's key.
yeah, yep. No, it is. So what do we got? What do we got here?
And I think we're
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. We
Yep.
need to be done here.
Yep, we need to be done. Oh yeah, we're an hour and 17, but we'll take some
God.
out.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're always too long. But
We're
this
always
is
too
a
long.
good one, you guys.
I can talk about my grateful.
I would like to hear you grateful.
So you can see behind us
Oh,
on my
yes.
little sideboard here. These are packages of broken dog treats. And the reason I'm grateful for those is that my husband and I recently partnered with a young woman that we know who makes dog treats, and she has worked at our clinic for many years, and she went out on her own and she starts doing this, and we're helping her kind of expand her business a little bit. And so part of what we get is the broken ones.
Oh, that's awesome. But show the
And it's
packages so
great.
if people see them.
And so these are
And we'll put a link to where you can buy them.
and these are some of the treats that she does. That's her label, Gibson's Gourmet Goodies, and these are carrot apple sticks. The dogs love them. They're crunchy and dry. There's no meat in them. It's apple, carrot, egg, cinnamon, oats, and that's just one of her things. But look at these ones. Look at these ones.
Yeah.
How cute are these?
They're little donuts.
They're donuts.
They're very cute.
Right? And the dogs love them. And they've got like frosting that's just made with honey and arrowroot and
Yeah.
beet juice and stuff. So anyway, I'm delighted to have the seconds.
That's awesome,
now.
right? And also to help a young entrepreneur,
Exactly.
right? That's really cool.
Exactly.
See, but
She
again,
works so hard. Yeah.
but that's just it. Nope, that's a pretty good grateful, right?
And what are you grateful? I think I know what you're grateful
I'm
for.
grateful that and I'm grateful that our house, it looks like it's moving towards a sale. I don't want to jinx it. But the other side is I'm grateful that it's going to be somebody in there that's going to love it.
Yeah,
Because it's a good
It's
house.
the right person.
Yeah.
It's a good house. I feel so good about this. Talking to the brother, it sounds like she's really the right person
Yeah,
for this.
that's awesome.
So I
Right,
think
and
it's
she'll
gonna
be
happen.
good for the community.
And that's a huge grateful.
Yeah, that's a very big grateful.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good spring.
It's gonna be a good
We got
spring.
things moving ahead.
And
so
there's spring and there's gardens and there's all the good things. And so remember to do that while we're going to help look after those who aren't quite as privileged as us, right?
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So what do we want more of, Ruth?
More happy hours.
Yes.
And what do we want? That's what
We want less bullshit.
Yep.
Have a
Okay.
great week, you
Have a
guys. Thanks
great
so
week.
much for being here,
Okay.
and we will see you again soon.
Right. Keep the joy.